First of all, tell us your name, where are you from?
Arjan from Leicester.
And you've been following Liverpool under Jurgen?
I've been following him since 1980s. And going through all the heartaches from the 1990s, seeing the Rodgers slip. And then when Klopp came, the first press conference, I could straight away see that something special was happening from that press conference onwards. And he's not failed to deliver. He said there'll be many titles, and he was correct. And if it wasn't for Man City, there would have been many more. So thank you. And this is why we're here, just to say thank you to Jurgen.
Beautifully well said. What is the legacy that Jurgen leaves here, in your opinion?
You look at the League Cup, the academy players and all of those that have come through. So Slot's going to have a massive opportunity to drive this forward. And we just hope and pray that he does do that. And Jurgen will always be welcome. I said to, when we're losing, I said we can get rid of every player, but please don't get rid of Jurgen Klopp, because this is the person that makes us tick. And he's punched way above his weight, way above his weight in terms of the Premier League and the Champions League.
You used the word opportunity there. I like that, because it's an opportunity for the new manager coming in. But also, how much of a challenge is it to continue this? What Jurgen, you've just said, has performed above expectations, possibly.
We've seen all of this at Man United with all the changes of the managers that they've had. But with Liverpool, they always tend to give their managers 3 or 4 years. And if we give Slot 3 or 4 years, I'm also convinced that he's the right person. What I've noticed from the ownership is they do a lot of due diligence, and they won't make a rash decision. The new Klopp was going, and they've gone and got the best person for the job. And I'm confident that that will be the best person for the job.
Yeah, while we're all focused on Jurgen's goodbye today, Slot is getting his own big farewell at Feyenoord. They've even got a huge banner saying, walk on, walk on. He's arriving with the best wishes of Feyenoord. Do you know much about him?
I don't. I wanted Alonso. The name is totally out of the blue, because I'm not an ardent fan per se. But what I've been reading about him, and like you've just said, they're going to miss him. They're crying. Dortmund were crying, Mainz were crying, and we're crying now. It seems like a funeral today, but also a celebration to thank Jurgen.
Absolutely, perfect. Beautifully well said. I like that at the end. Thank you, my man. Where are you from?
Julian Etches. I'm from Maryland, outside Washington, D.C.
And tell me then, so when did you decide to come over for this? Was it when Jurgen announced that he would be leaving?
October of last year. We made our tickets, kind of a bucket list trip. My family had never been. So we decided in October, got our tickets. Then we sort of hoping that they were going to challenge for the Premier League. And then he announced, and we thought, oh, wow, unbelievable, we're here for the last game. Sure.
We'll come back to you, thank you. That's not Liverpool. It's Wolves, by the way. It's Wolves, by the way.
When we came last time, it was sad. When we came last time, it was sad. It's like an outside area. Yeah. Right in there. Do
you want to get in between?
Yeah.
There'll be like 5 minutes. That was Wolves.
Yeah, I told him it's a different costume.
Yeah, no problem. You good?
You can ask me any question. If we can get 5 people into the game, I'll ask me
wow, yeah, I'd love to be able to. You good? So what do you think of the atmosphere then being here today?
It's amazing. Once in a lifetime. Priceless, as they say. Yeah, I knew it was going to be unbelievable, but more than I could ever have dreamed.
And you brought the weather with you, so thank you for that. Just looking at Jurgen then, obviously, what is his legacy that he leaves, in your opinion?
I think he's just, other than the trophies and just his pure presence and his personality, larger than life stature. I think that's probably the biggest that everybody will miss. Life goes on, but he's left some big shoes to fill, for sure. But I would say his personality is the most part I would say that I'll miss.
Yeah, even from my own personal point of view, as much as a football manager, it's from that human element. And we've seen so many life lessons from Jurgen, an excellent role model. for whoever it may be. All of us can take something away from Jurgen in life. What might you take from Jurgen?
I think just I grew up playing the game. I coached for many years, so I can kind of relate to his approach to his players and everybody in the community. So I think that that's his legacy that he'll leave. And I think probably I'm around the same age group as he is. I think he's 56, I'm 58. So I think I relate in that respect to her, being in the same age group. So I think he's left a huge impression on me, and I live in America, but we see all the games. So we probably see, my brother lives here, and we see more games over there than I think he sees here. So it's great. So we get every week we see the game. So we kind of really have a connection there.
There's certainly an irony to that. You speak about Jurgen in terms of like Bill Shankly. So will Arne Slot hopefully be the Bob Paisley that then wins all the trophies that Jurgen wasn't able to?
Well, we can only hope so. We can only hope so. Time will tell. But we're all cheering for him. I don't know much about him. But there's no reason why he can't. He's got an established player group here. I think he probably just needs some freshening up of the team a little bit. But I don't see he's coming in. He's inheriting something better than what Jurgen inherited in 2015. So it's out there for him. Add a couple players here or there, and I think success, hopefully, when this supporting group, he's coming into a good situation. I think so. So. Yeah.
Well said, my man. Thank you for your time and enjoy
Thank
the atmosphere.
you.
It should be here, and I'm leaving that down there, Jeff. You just stick it on the poking up
please. Keep going further back. Gotta keep moving on the stairs, please. Gotta be gotta be further back. Folks, keep moving on the stairs. Folks, keep moving forward, please.
I would have rallied them.
Guys, if you move up this area first, please, don't fall down, you're blocking the stairs. Moving up here, please, folks. Blocking the stairs. Even.
I know, James Bond, isn't it?
Cool, isn't it? You know what I mean? Yeah, go on.
All right, I'm here with Liverpool's James Bond, David Lynch. First of all, just talk to us about Jurgen's legacy and what he leaves here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes deeper than trophies. I mean, as a starting point, we're probably worth talking about the trophies in the sense that, you know, it shouldn't be forgotten that when Jurgen Klopp arrived at Liverpool, they qualified for the Champions League once in the last 6 seasons. They were absolutely miles off the idea that they'd be competing for the Premier League. You know, I think it was 25, 26 years at that point. And so to turn it around in that sense as a starting point, absolutely unbelievable. The sporting achievements will never be forgotten, go down as one of the greatest Liverpool managers in terms of just on-pitch achievements. But then it goes so much deeper than that, doesn't it? It's all about the connection, the special connection he's got with the supporters. I mean, you can see it here already today. There's a party atmosphere here today. And people love him. He seems to be someone who, you know, you talk about getting the club. He absolutely truly understands what makes Liverpool fans tick, what makes Scousers tick. And so that bond is incredibly strong beyond everything that's gone on the pitch. And I think, you know, there may be a Liverpool manager who comes in the near future who's as successful or nearly as successful or maybe even more successful. But someone who's got this sort of affinity with the supporters, I think it's going to be very, very hard to imagine someone coming along, because this is this generation's Bill Shankly, really. And so it's going to be a huge miss for Liverpool.
I mean, you say it perfectly there. We talk about it being the Bill Shankly, and he is, because it means much more than just being a football manager. So is Arne Slot going to be the Bob Paisley and be the one that comes in and wins all the trophies?
That's the hope, isn't it? They hope someone who can come in and sort of be the continuity manager and build on the brilliant foundations that have been laid. Because as I said, it was, you know, Liverpool were miles off this status that they've got now when the manager came in. I mean, we're stood here next to the new main stand, by the way, which, you know, part of the achievements that he oversaw in terms of regular qualification of the Champions League. He basically built this stand and the Anfield Road end as well. So the Liverpool that Arne Slot is coming to is a very, very different Liverpool. And so the foundations are there, but the big test is, you know, can he be that Bob Paisley? Can he play the same style of football? Can he keep that going and keep the trophies rolling in? And it's a huge test and huge shoes to fill. But Liverpool hope they do have that continuity candidate, and that Slot can be the man who can keep the success rolling.
And do you think there's a possibility that a less emotional, perhaps more controlled manager and therefore style of play will actually benefit Liverpool in the long run in order to compete with City and now Arsenal under Arteta?
Yeah, I mean, if you can have one slight criticism, it's towards the end of Jurgen's reign, is that I think we've seen the sort of, you know, the cost of the physical, high energy football, because it's, you know, the last sort of 3 out of 4 seasons maybe have been really, really harmed by the injuries that Liverpool have had, and you've got to link that to the style of football they're playing. You know, you look at City and Arsenal, far fewer injuries, and that is surely down to the fact that they are a little bit more controlled, a little bit more patient in their football. So I think that's the easy win for Slot, is if he comes in and he shows that he plays a slightly more controlled football, slightly more measured, because Liverpool really, I think, to keep challenging at the top now, they've got to be more controlled. They've got to get fewer injuries, really, and that as I say, is possibly the first win that Slot can bring to the club.
Perfect. Cheers, mate. Appreciate
no problem,
that.
Mate, no problem.
Is that good for you?
Let me know when you're ready.
All right, so I'm here with Grace. Grace, you followed Liverpool under Jurgen. How are you feeling today, his farewell game?
Yeah, I feel mixed emotions. I really want to give the biggest send-off because he deserves it too much. It's going to be sadness. I went to the club shop and they ran out of tissues, so I had to go up the road to get tissues and that. It's emotional. What the man's done is that everything about Liverpool is that he's one of us, and that's how we see him as a manager. So it comes close to the heart. So that's why how it's heartbreaking. But I'm not really bothered about the score or what the game is. It's just to give him the best send off and have the best retirement because he's devoted his whole life to football.
You get the feeling that Jurgen would rather be in the Kop with us today rather than being on the dugout. You know, he even said pre-match that he's not sure who's going to do the team talk because he's kind of clocked out by this point and he's too emotional. And that's it. He gets us as a fan base, as a community, as a city. And that's why he's remembered the way he is, not necessarily for the trophies.
Yeah, he's so charismatic and that's what it is. He's one for the people. He always says he's that football fan. And as you said, he'd love to be in the Kop, and when he says on his interviews and said, whoever the new manager's in, don't care if he doesn't like me, I want to be coming to the games when it's the Champions League or not. So I feel as well as that with being in the Premier League, it's so under pressure. You are constantly facing battles, and you see from when he first started how much he's aged and he's run out of energy, and like as fans we just support him, and that's the exact thing with it all. And all I do is I just hope for the best for him, and I do wish he was in the Kop because I've been seeing him, he doesn't care now that because he's left the club he's able to speak to fans and have that interaction with them, so it's really special.
I mean, that's the irony of it today, that, you know, we're all able to relax. Jurgen himself over the last couple of weeks, we've almost seen the old Jurgen come back to life because he's so relaxed. You just mentioned how intense it is in the Premier League. What's the legacy that he leaves for us here?
Well, the legacy is that a statue should be getting built now. We should have been having photos of it the last game, just him fist pumping. Because the legacy that he has left, he has made, you know, younger players have the debuts, he's built a team. At the end of the day, he's bought players for nothing and made them into something. And think about it, like our fan base, we are chanting about every single thing. And when we sing, Jurgen said to me, you know, he says we've won the Premier League, he's delivered all what he said and turned doubters into believers. And I feel at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you come into the game, it's how you leave. So that legacy is that, you know, he's part of Liverpool and he gets us and he speaks up for what's right. And yeah, he's part of the community and we're so blessed to have him.
Absolutely. And finally then, on the new manager, when Arne Slot is confirmed, what's the challenge that he faces here? Can he be the Bob Paisley to the Bill Shankly?
So I've done like quite a lot of research because I wrote a few articles on him, and he does have similarities to Klopp. I can see that he has brought like Feyenoord and Alkmaar, and it's hard to say because the Dutch league is so much different to the Premier League. You face so many battles, so you don't know what's going to happen with that. But all he needs to do is get our club, get like what we're all about instead of going against it. He also says as well he's very calm and stuff like that. What's it going to be like with the referees, I don't know. But all he's got to do is stick by the team, support the fans, and also as well just be in the community spirit, because Klopp is remarkable and no one's going to replace him, and he's really irreplaceable. But if you talk about this onslaught, if he's got that kind of drive to what he wants to do, is get some signings, build up the confidence in the team. You see Darwin Núñez, it's been really upsetting because I'm similar age to him, like social media is horrible and that is back the players. You're meant to be supporters, so just being a supporter of the team and being part of us.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Grace.
Did you like
Appreciate
that? Thanks
that.
so much.